everybody's doing well. Today is November 7th, 2019, and I am here to do a paranormal story for you guys. This story will not be scary, it's not about a haunting, but it is a paranormal story. Basically, a paranormal story is something that is beyond normal, something that is not explained, whether it be scientifically or there's a logical reason. It's something that is just whoa, right? And so in class, my religious studies course, I have to talk for about 5 to 6 minutes on a paranormal story that happened to me. I remember when at first she brought it up and she said we were going to have to do this. Immediately I thought, I don't have a paranormal to share. I don't have anything scary. And then she says, guys, if you know, it doesn't have to be scary. It could be anything you can't explain in your life that, you know, it's not logical or something like that. Something that is just beyond that, you know. And so immediately, and when she said that, I said, okay, I have about 5 that happen in my life. Very positive, very peaceful, and very, very direct, almost like a direct message to me. And I decided to speak on this particular one that I'm going to share with you guys is because it came out of nowhere. It came around 13 years later from the last incident I had, and that's what made it very, very telling for me. Because it was almost like, you know, I'm a Christian, by the way, I am a Christian, so I do believe in Christ and God and the Holy Spirit. And so it was just very, very telling that I got a message like 13 years later, you know, and so that's why I want to share this particular story. Now, really quickly, I'll be having to do this either November 25th or 27th. She's not sure exactly which day, but I kind of want to practice with you guys. I want to try and see if I can keep it to the point, direct, but also share, like bring you into my story, bring you into my moment, you know, because I think that that's how you guys may be able to understand why this was so important and so significant for me. So I'm going to do it on the 25th or the 27th. We're not sure. There's about 30 students in our class, and she says it's going to take about 2 days to get through everybody. Okay, so real quickly though, I do want to share with you guys really, really quickly that my brother, and I mentioned this before, my brother does have a very, very scary story. This was something that he tempted the darker spirits, if you will. Yeah, if you guys want to hear that one from me, I can definitely ask his permission and then also have him talk to me a little bit about it more, because it's been so many years that I don't know all the details. But if you want to hear that one, I can absolutely ask him for his permission and I can come and share it with you guys. All right, so let's get on to the actual paranormal story for you guys. So again, I have about 5 to 6 minutes, so I'm going to look here up at the viewfinder a lot because it has a timer going on. All right, so I have been married twice. With my first husband, I had 3 miscarriages. With my second husband, I had 2. All of them were first trimester pregnancies. All of them were within about 7 to 8 weeks of pregnancy. With the exception of one, I was able to see a heartbeat. I had an ultrasound done and I saw the heartbeat. But for me, I lost them all while I was on the toilet. In other words, I was cramping so bad and I was bleeding so bad that I just went to the toilet because it was just so much happening, and that's where I lost the pregnancies. So inevitably I had to flush them down the toilet. And for me, that's where, along other issues, along other things that happen, that flushing of the toilet for me has been with me for a long, long time. And it stayed with me for a long, long time. The last miscarriage I had, I was around 31 years old. 30 to 31 years old was when I had the 5th miscarriage. And it's something that for years and years and years, when I would reflect back at flushing of that toilet, and when I looked down and I saw what I saw, and then I flushed the toilet, it was so hard for me to deal with. It was something so difficult that the years went by, and it was just hard. All right, so and the thing of it is, you do feel alone because nobody understands that, or not a lot of people, and rightfully so. It doesn't happen to every single person. But I'm just saying, it was hard for me to find any kind of real comfort with anybody. You know what I mean? Anyways, so around 43 years old, so around 13 years approximately later, I am going to church. I was by myself, having a good day. It was a good day. I would go to the later mass because I really loved the young kids who would play in the band, and the music was so upbeat and so like they took every song, and it was presented so upbeat. It was so much fun. You just really wanted to dance. It was communion time, so I went up and I received communion, and then when I come back around, every single time I kneel until we're all done. When everybody's done receiving communion, I'm in kneeling and I'm in contemplation of taking the Holy Eucharist. Okay, so this is every Sunday. I go, I take the Holy Eucharist, I kneel, and I'm in contemplation of the Holy Eucharist. Okay. So nothing different this Sunday. I wasn't thinking about anything in particular. It was a beautiful day. I went up, took the Holy Eucharist, came back around, and went on, kneeled, and I started to be in contemplation. And I could hear while my eyes were closed and I'm in contemplation. I could hear the band playing. I can hear the echo of, because it was a church, and you could hear the echoing of the church. I could hear kids crying. I could hear people kind of talking, and I can also hear the little bench that we would pull up and down. I could hear it drop because some people would get to their bench and then they would drop it, so you could hear that. I could hear it all. But all of a sudden, this one particular Sunday, 13 years later, I was in that moment. I was in contemplation, hearing everything, and all of a sudden, every bit of noise went to the back. It was like I could barely hear it. Like I could hear it, but just faintly in the background. And I'm kneeling there, and all of a sudden, and I'm going to have to paraphrase this part because I really cannot remember word for word what was said. But I just remember being in deep contemplation, everything going to the back, all the music, all the sounds, and then all of a sudden, in my voice, I hear, and I'm going to have to paraphrase because I really try to remember it. Like I try to close my eyes sometimes and really try to remember word for word, and I cannot. But I remember hearing my voice say, "You did not flush your babies in the toilet. You did not flush your babies in the toilet. I have them. They're with me. You will see them one day. You will be with them one day." And that's what I remember. That's what I remember. I don't remember anything else. Just like something like, "You did not flush them down the toilet. I have them, and you will see them one day." And I heard something like, don't be sad. Don't be sad no more. And in the moment that I heard all that, like I said, I was frozen, because I was in the words. Do you know what I mean? And then when the words were gone, I kind of came into me again, and I couldn't open my eyes. And I started hearing the noise again, but there was no more band playing. There was not a lot of talking, not a lot of movement, but I can hear the ambiance. Like I was in the echoing of the church. I could hear again. So I couldn't open my eyes, but when I finally opened my eyes, the band stopped playing. Everybody pretty much had done with communion. The priest was sitting down, and I sort of scooched back into my pew. I just sort of scooched back in, and I could not. I wanted to cry so bad. I wanted to cry. I wanted to walk away. I wanted to leave. I wanted to scream. I wanted to do everything, but I knew where I was at, so I like kind of kept it, After communion, typically after communion, the priest will say some words to let you go with. Any announcements, people might come up and say some announcements and things like that. I just needed to get out of there, but quickly mass is done after that. And I remember I didn't even say goodbye to anybody. I just got up, because there's a group of people that we always sit in the same pew in the same spot. It's like our spot, and so everybody around you. And I could not. I just left. When I got to the car, I couldn't turn on the car. I could not turn on the car. I was shaking. My body was shaking. I was crying at this point. I was just bawling out. I could not drive. I could not move. I was just in shock, just amazed. And I started thinking that I was speaking to me. So that was me. That wasn't nothing. I was trying to almost explain it, because it was my voice. But there is no explanation. There is none, because I did not ask or seek it I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't anything. After, I don't know how long I was in my car. I don't remember. I did turn on the car. I started driving. I was still very shaky, and I couldn't wait to tell it to somebody. But then at the same time, I didn't want to tell it to anybody. I wanted to hold on to that and keep it for me, because it was so unbelievable for me that who was I going to tell? And then if I did tell, I felt like they would take it away from me. It was so weird. It was so many emotions, so many things that happened. I've never looked back. I now don't think of the flushing of the toilet. It's gone. It's all gone. When I do think about my miscarriages and my babies, it's a happiness. It's a happiness. And now since at 51, I have told people about it. And obviously now I'm going to tell more people about it. That what was said to me that day was a message for me. And it was giving me peace in my life, and it gave me peace. And it was a gift. It was an absolute gift that I was given. So anyways, that is it. And I can tell by the timer that I did not do this in 6 minutes. So I will work on that. But either way, I still wanted to share it with you guys. In my mind, I tried to be in the classroom setting, and I couldn't. I look at the lens and I know who my YouTube family. It was hard, but anyways, I will work on that. If you guys have anything you guys want to share, please put it down below. Some things are just not explained, and that's the reality of it. And like my professor said, whether we consciously think about it or not, we've all had an experience that is paranormal. It doesn't have to be scary, but we automatically go there when we do think about paranormal. Anyways, let me know if you guys want to hear about my brother's story. I will be more than happy to bring it to you guys. All right, my friends, I'll let you go. I will talk to you all very, 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 very soon. After I do my story, I will come back and let you guys know how it all went, and if I kept it under 6 minutes, and what was the reaction with my classmates. I can't wait to hear people's stories, because I have Most of them are going to do scary stories. I can tell you that right now. All right, my friends, I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye.